Hello and welcome to Renaissance Man TV. Have you ever been in that situation where someone insults you or says something that really gets you back up and you feel that flash of anger and you want to fire back? Or maybe you just want to be a better communicator. If that's the case, then watch this video because today we're doing a book review of the latest book I've just read, which is The Next Conversation by Jefferson Fisher. The subtitle of the book is Argue Less, Talk More. I first came across Jefferson Fisher in an interview with Stephen Bartlett, and I was impressed by the way he spoke, calm, measured and deliberate. And you could tell by the way he communicated his ideas that he knew a thing or two about how to be a good communicator. The author, Jefferson, is a lawyer, and he comes from a family of lawyers, and he uses real-life anecdotes from his career to help explain situations and how to overcome confrontations and things that people have said in the courtroom. This, for me, makes the advice seem more real. It's not from psychology, it's from real life lived experiences. One thing I liked is that the book is practical. No theory, no fluff, and gives you real tools that you can use to help you become a better communicator. The only concern I had when I began reading the book is the first anecdotes and illustrations I'd already heard because I'd used them in the interviews where I'd seen him. And I thought, I hope this book isn't like a film trailer, where you see all the best bits of the film in the trailer, and sometimes the rest of the film can be quite bland and disappointing. But that is not the case. For me, the strongest material was near the end of the book. So make sure you read all of the book. There are 3 tools that I really loved that I took away from this book. The first one is the pause. If somebody says something to you that triggers you, rather than firing straight back or saying something straight back, he tells us to take a pause. Taking a pause allows us to take control of the situation. It sounds simple, but in a real life situation it's hard to do. But if we can train ourselves to do this, we'll get into less arguments and become better communicators. The second tool I loved was how to handle interruptions. He teaches us that when someone interrupts us, instead of saying something like, I wasn't finished yet, or interrupting them, he tells us to let them finish speaking. Once they've finished, instead of carrying on what we were saying from where we left off, he tells us to go back to the start and start making our point again. This tells the interrupter and anyone else listening that you had not finished making your point. The third tool I really loved was line, I need to hear you say that again. Now, this is when somebody says something cruel and cutting to us. Instead of firing straight back with an insult, he tells us to say, I need to hear you say that again. It forces a person to confront what they've just said to you. And in most cases, they didn't mean it. And instead of saying the insult again, they'll say, sorry, I didn't mean that. So it de-escalates the situation. My favourite part was dealing with defensiveness. The most powerful section was near the end, how to deal with defensiveness. People can become defensive when you challenge their beliefs. But it's not the information they're necessarily defending. It could be it's something their parents told them. It's something their grandparents taught them. It's a belief tied to a relative or someone they loved who may no longer be here. And when you challenge that belief, you're challenging the memory of that person. So when you say to someone, that's not correct, what they might subconsciously hear is, you're wrong, the person who taught you that is wrong too. This point in the book really resonated with me due to my previous experiences and previous relationships. It helps you to reframe conflict altogether. It helps you to understand the person, where they're coming from, and instead of creating an argument, it helps you build a connection and understand that person more. So instead of thinking, why are they being defensive, the book teaches us to think, what does this belief mean to... My only real criticism of the book is that a lot of the examples were front-loaded from what I'd seen in previous interviews. But if you stick with it and read on, you'll find that a lot of the best tips and information is actually towards the end of the book. Who would I recommend this book for? I would recommend this book for anyone who gets easily triggered or is argumentative or confrontational. I would also recommend this book for anybody who struggles with confrontation. This book is also great for those who may feel they're not heard. in both social and work environments. I would also recommend this book for any couples who are struggling with communication in their relationships. Okay, my final verdict. This book is a solid 8.5 or 9 out of 10, mainly because the advice and tools given work in real life and are drawn from real life experiences. I've already found myself pausing more, listening to people, thinking before I respond. When reading about interruptions, I realised that I had a habit of interrupting, not through rudeness, but because I was engaged in the conversation. But this book has taught me to just listen that little bit more and then come back with a better response. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a comment about what you thought. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.